Hey guys, welcome to a brand new Let's Play that I'm going to be doing alongside the Liverpool save. It is going to be with Brighton and Hove Albion. And we're going to be doing it, as I say, in the normal format that I'm sure most of you are used to by now, and that is doing it updates in February and May. And obviously this is the first February, so I thought I'd go from here. Now, this was always going to be the case, by the way. I was never going to do live things for this. I mean, if I get to like a cup final or something, I might do a live commentary occasionally. But this is it. This is something I've been playing for the last few days, and I've got to say, I've been enjoying it considerably more than the Liverpool save. Now, this has been completely and totally done in FMC. I planned to do it in FMC from the start, and it's pretty good, actually. It's pretty neat what you can do, some of the stuff in here. It's just sort of... even like the little things, like occasionally just doing an instant result. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous. I know it's like, oh no, that's not playing the game properly. Urgh. But it's just like for occasionally, it's like when you want to test something out, like a new formation or something, you just go, oh, okay, I want to see how this works. Just press instant results and you'll see if it works or not. Basically, it's like a test button. I'm not saying, obviously, I quit after that or anything. I wouldn't dare do such a thing now because I know how pissy people get about it. But this is this is it. And let's have a look at the league then. So as you can see a smaller version of it here, but this is how we're getting on. And the reason I'm enjoying it probably is because this team is actually quite good. And it has to be one of the smallest teams in the league as well. I mean, I've checked out a few forums just to see what people say and little hints and tips. I haven't downloaded any formations or anything like that. I've obviously gone on a few forums like FM Base and FM Scout, and obviously had a look at like Wonder Kids, for example, and like certain formations to play, certain players to sell. And one of the big players that I sold, which I'll get to in a moment, but I just want to go over the transfers very quick. History, there it is. I was looking for that the other day. So the players now I got rid of just to raise a bit of funds because I literally had like £500,000 to spend. The big one, I got rid of Matt Sparrow there. Obviously, he went. I generally didn't know what to do with a lot of these players. So what I did was just if a bid came in for them, and I just sort of went for it and said, yeah, this was at the start. Once I got to know the players a little bit more, then yes, I did hold on. But the one player I did get rid of was Vicente. Now, although this was quite a bad decision at the time for the fans, they really didn't like it. It overall has actually proved to steady the finances a bit. Admittedly, we are still losing a bit of money, but it's not overall disastrous in any way. And it did raise funds for me to buy other players. So most of these of which have come in January, with the exception of Samad Yezel, who have brought in on loan from Liverpool, and you'll see how great a move he's proved to have been at the moment. Raised a few more millions as well. I've got to say, got Sparrow and a few other loan fees, and a few youngsters have gone. But Yezel has come in, who have gone on loan from Liverpool. He's one of the big wonder kids, and if you are a Championship or Football League team, or anyone in sort of a second or first or second division or whatever, and you are looking for a youngster to loan, there's always one or two, you can't always get a hold of. Yezel's perfect for it. He is phenomenal. And I tried putting him in the Liverpool team initially. Didn't work out too well, so I thought, okay, I'll try him in Brighton, so he just lower his level a bit. He's fantastic. But here's the transfers that I've brought in. Now, I thankfully did get a bit of a cash injection, well, I'll say like 2 million from the board, which is a fair amount, to be fair, in the Championship. There's a massive step down. I mean, I'm coming from someone who watches very, very little Football League. I might see the occasional game Sky do, I don't know whether that's me just being ignorant or something, or really have been a bit of elitist or whatever, but I don't watch a lot of Football League games, so I really don't know a whole lot of players, a whole lot of what sort of counts as a good batch of finances, for example. But these are the players I brought in. We've got Victor Anichebe. He was transfer listed by Everton. Now he's been injured, but I thought he might be worth a go. I actually personally know his brother in real life as well, which is quite funny. He's from around my parts, and not Nigeria. And yeah, he's a good lad, Victor, and he's big, he's black, and he'll do a good job, I think. And I was lacking in forwards, actually. I mean, Craig McHale-Smith starts off injured, or at least he did for me, and he is fairly injury prone. So yeah, I think like the guys I looked at even said to sell him, which I thought was a bit much because of his injury proneness. So it was very strange. Anyway, David Fox from Norwich, I thought this was a really good move. He is quite good. He, again, lacking match fitness, obviously just been brought in, came back from injury. I really like this guy. He looks quite decent for Norwich, and I thought for £1 million, I thought I can't say no. And finally, Steve Malbronk. He was transfer listed by Lyon. I thought this is great for £95,000. That is an absolute bargain, and he certainly has proved to be a bit of a bargain, which I will show you in a moment. But this is how we've got on then. So obviously this is an FMC, so certain things like friendlies and all that are obviously arranged already for you. I don't do a lot of things. Tactics. I'll show you my tactics really quick. Gone with this 4-3-3, a slightly different 4-3-3. If you want to be really specific, I've gone with a 4-2-3-1. Now I don't know whether people like to do it in each sort of position, how they line up, but this is how they line up. I've obviously got Yezel. This was the last game I played, which I'll show you in a minute. Bear in mind Victor Anichebe and where's he gone? Steve Malbronk, who need to rest obviously. They've just come back from injury. Very few other players have as well. I think Wayne Bridge has, and so has I think one or two other players. Yeah, I've had quite a few injuries, and to be honest, this is the biggest the squad's ever been, and you really do have a small squad when you go Brighton. I mean, the good players, the really some good players here. I mean, Dobie's great, Orlandi's a good player, Lopez is good, Dean Hammond's a great player, Lewis Dunk, very, very good young player. Was quite impressed with him last season as well when we played Brighton twice. He looked like a good little player, and I did like him. Wayne Bridge, obviously, he's always good. He's got Premier League experience. Liam Bridcourt again, who I thought looked okay, and admittedly he scored 2 own goals at Anfield, which was very, very unfortunate for him. But he looked okay. So a lot of these players are decent, and that's what the formation I am playing. I have gone for a very short period of time, which you will see when I go over the fixtures. I did this just to facilitate a few other players. I played a 3-1-2-3-1. Or 3-4-3 as the game's going to call it. So let's get rid of. I'm trying to think who I brought in for Dunk. I had a few DMCs like Bridcut can play there, Fox can play there, Vincent can play there. So I had a lot of these sort of players who can play in this DMC role, and I wanted more of an attacking threat. Now, one thing I did notice is we did score a fair few goals, but we conceded quite a lot as well. So I brought that back to the 4-3-3, or this. I'm just going to call it 4-3-3 because that's what the game says it is. Just be official. And and we stopped conceding shitloads of goals. And I mean, admittedly, we still have conceded a fair few, but this is the Championship. You are going to concede a fair amount of goals. Okay, the fixtures meant. I mean, as you can see, 32 is not absolutely horrible in any stretch of the imagination, but obviously Wolves, who are 2 points behind us, they've scored more and conceded less. So, that is a slight worry, but never mind, we are still top, and that is all that matters as of now. Played 30, drawn 8, won 18, lost 4. When I did this previously with Cardiff and Southampton, we had built up a fair lead at the top. I'd always sort of, it would be about, say, 10, 12, 15 points ahead at about this stage. And then what happens, and you really do have to be careful, I don't know if FM13 does this as well, but on all previous FMs, you would about now, if you weren't careful, have a horrendous mid-season slump. And I mean, I'm sure you can understand. You can even remember when this has happened to you. You get into February on a great run of form, and then your team just completely capitulates, and you're just like, what the hell's happened? There's no explanation. I still don't even know why they do it. Whether it's because the game, like opposition have finally figured out your tactics, or the team's getting tired. So I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna make sure that didn't happen. And twice with Cardiff and Southampton, we ended up just crawling over the line. I mean, we had enough points in the end, and we got promoted, but we just absolutely crept over the line, and just about got promoted. I think if it went on till like June, July, we would have been snookered. Anyway, going over the fixtures. The first game here was against Cheltenham in the Capital One Cup first round. As you can see, we got fairly far. We didn't exactly have a difficult... it wasn't exactly difficult. So we had Cheltenham, Crewe, Palace, which we won on penalties, and then eventually played Bristol City, which we lost, which was slightly annoying, but we weren't too disappointed as it was the Capital One Cup. Goals for Cross, Orlandi, and Yezel. Yezel, I'm not gonna even piss around. Look at that, 17 goals. Look at that. He's joint 5th with Emile Sinclair. Doing very, very well indeed. He's been a great signing for loans. He's obviously got David Lopez there as well with 10 assists, and Gordon Greer there with 2nd in the average ratings tabs, and obviously got Cross there with 2 red cards, joint 1st. But yeah, he's been phenomenal as Yezel. Very, very good. First game of the Championship was a difficult game. Going to St Andrews, Birmingham, not bad, 1-1. Gordon Greer there having a great game. Bridcup wasn't too great, but do you know what? Overall, the defence did quite well. I mean, Birmingham, difficult place to go. Got it out the way early, and you know what? I thought we did quite well. Leicester then played Leicester at home. Yesil grabbing 2. This is where he really started to make a big impression on me. Leicester again, a difficult game. Obviously, all games are difficult in the Championship. Let's not bullshit around here. And Hammond again, who's another great signing. I think he is on loan currently from Southampton. Yes, I remember playing him for Southampton actually. Then we went to Elland Road. Yesil yet again scoring, and Ashley Barnes, who is a fairly underrated player on this. He's gets treated a bit poorly by Brighton in all the saves as far as I've seen, but he's a good little player. Then we play Crewe in the Capital One Cup. I'll probably show you a few more of these goals. Buckley Mikhail Smith, who eventually got back from injury. I think this was his first game that he came back from injury, and did really, really well. Forest 2-1 is Ashley Barnes again with 2 goals. And then at first, for a while at least, draw. Yesil once again grabbing a goal. 1-1 against Bristol. Obviously, these are proving to be a bit of a bogey team at the moment. 1-1 against Derby. Barnes again with the goal. And then I'll show you, this will be the first highlights I'll show you. We had Greer once again scoring. He always seems to score from free kicks and corners, Greer, obviously because he's a centre-back. But he is very good at that, scoring from corners and goal kicks. Corner kicks, I should say. And I'll show you these now. Obviously, the settings, as you can see, are slightly different. But this is 3-0 against Palace. Super goal there from Greer. And, as you can see, as I say, he always likes to score from these. He's got a very good head on him. Not quite sure about the celebration, though. And yes, I play pretty much a full strength. I had to pretty much play a full strength team every game almost, or at least try to, because the squad at this point was so small. It's expanded a bit now due to the signings and all that, but it's really small. At this time of the year. And there goes Mikhail Smith. A lot of players running on, so I like to use the play through the defence, and players to run on to it, because obviously this isn't the biggest squad in the world. The centre back's quite big, but up top wise, we haven't really got that many big players. That's why I've brought in Anichebe, because I think we were lacking a bit of height up there. We need a big man, and that's what Anichebe is. He's a very big lad. And here's the third goal against Palace now. Dobie, and it's going to break. Oh no, it's not. That's the other goal I'm thinking of. It's a poor ball really. And Mikhail Smith is onside apparently, and he scores, and that is 3-0 at Crystal Palace. So that's an excellent game there. And obviously that again at the Capital One Cup. I think it was an own goal actually. I'll show you the penalties here at Palace once again. This was we got a bit more fortunate this time. I think I played pretty much the same team actually. I think they probably had worked us out at this point, but we got quite lucky to win on pens. Here are the goals. Obviously, first time Palace scored against us. They didn't score it in the Championship, and to be honest, I probably would have taken the 3-0 as opposed to a 1-1 draw in the league. But there you go, Craig Mikhail Smith. Thought he'd bundled it in, but now it's going to go down as a Danny Gabidon own goal. And here's Palace's. As obviously, it was quite disappointing to concede this, but to be fair, 4 goals against Palace in 2 games, you really can't complain. If to be honest, it's very fair. Slightly unlucky here, this goal, but a bit silly from Lewis Dunk, who obviously I say rated, and David Goodwillie there coming in. I think it's David Goodwillie. In the 77th minute there, pretty annoying. But here is the penalties shootout. So Jermaine Easter first up, saved by Kuchai. He does like to do it really quickly, so apologise for that. But Ashley Barnes puts his away, so that's 1-0 after 1 penalty each. And then 2, that's 1-1 I think, yep. Then Dobie 2-1. Moxie for Palace 2-2. Kel Smith 3-2. So obviously we're scoring all our penalties so far. But if they hadn't missed that first one, it could have been a lot more tense. And here's Garvin. Scores. And finally Lewis Dunk, who was at fault for the goal, scores the winner. So yeah, very good. We're through to the next round there in the Catalan Cup there. And then we had another draw here against Huddersfield. Sammy Yezel yet again scoring. So you see the type of player he is. He scored yet again against Sheffield Wednesday. Buckley and Dobie also scoring there against Wednesday. This was a great game. A really entertaining game, some of these. Really, as I say, enjoying myself with this. And I don't know if it's just because Liverpool are so bad and Brighton are so much better, but at least at this sort of level. Um, Not quite sure what the Buxton was trying to do there for Sheffield Wednesday though, but it's led to a goal eventually. Yeah, there you go. Okay, maybe it didn't, but well, I suppose it has in a way. It's in the highlight, therefore whatever's in the highlight leads to a goal. I can't actually remember who scored first, actually, because the highlights just aren't quick. It's like it shows you pre 30 seconds. But there's Yezel. Once again, it's just so clinical. Very, very clinical from Sammy Yezel. I'm not sure if we actually gave away a lead. I can't actually remember. But here's Will Buckley. But again, I don't know what's with the celebration on this game. They just seem to just sort of pump their hands very madly. Well, that's 2-0. You're thinking, oh God, Sheffield Wednesday actually scored 2 goals. Yes, but thankfully, we did get the win. And that's really all that matters. But here they are now. It's a great ball, to be fair, from Jay Bothroyd. And that's a good finish for Sheffield Wednesday. And obviously the comeback was on, apparently. But we tried to quash it. So I can't actually remember who scored for whether they actually did bring it level. I think they did. Yeah, they did. Because I don't know. I think it changed the. I think it changed it from control to attacking, and that kind of just opened up. Never do that actually if you're 2-0 up. If you're 3-0 up, yes, but yeah, it's pretty silly. And then at this point, I was going crazy, like going, oh, we've lost the lead. I mean, it was still 40 minutes to go, but here we go, 86th minute. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to get worse, but no, Kuchak holds on, hoofs it down, and here we go. Here's a chance for a break, sort of break anyway. It's a lovely ball through. Here's Crofts. It breaks to Yezel. Oh, sorry, Dobie, I should say. And in the 87th minute, great win in the end by the skin of our teeth. Then we lost to Middlesbrough. First loss. Yezel really didn't get a chance in this game. He was just thrown out. Wayne Bridge wasn't too great either. But going to the Riverside, pretty difficult place to go. Probably would have, I probably think we could have got a draw there, but we really went up to scratch. But went to Burnley 1-0. Will Buckley also again scoring there, and then Charlton came to the Amex. Stephen Dobie scored with another own goal there. Gordon Gray getting injured. He got injured for a while. And we played Blackpool. Yezel once again with 2 goals. Oh, okay. I'll show you his 2 goals now against Blackpool. I'm just picking and choosing a few goals here. Also, I'm not going to show you every goal, otherwise we'll be here for about 3 hours. Considering how many games we have played, bear in mind the Championship, you have played considerably more at this stage than the Premier League. But here's Kuchak's goal kick. So he's not going to score from it. But yeah, this is a really nice play. I mean, obviously got a bit of a slight deflection. I think this one, I'm trying to think, was that the... Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of another one. There was a goal which he took an absolutely wicked deflection. I can't remember which goal it is, but there was one. It took an absolutely horrible deflection, and it still counts as a Yezel own goal. It's a Yezel goal, which is something similar to the Suarez goal that I showed you against Chelsea in the other Liverpool in the Liverpool video. But Yezel, he's so composed. I mean, that was a little bit lucky, but second of the game for Yezel, and he is absolutely on fire. Very, very good player indeed. And then obviously we lost 1-0 to, again, he obviously couldn't really end the game. Lopez wasn't great either in Bristol, but slightly disappointing, but I went too well. Then we lost 2-0 to Bolton. Bolton are really good actually. Don't let their where are they? Where are Bolton? Mid-table. They're actually one of those. They're actually good. Just one of those friggin' annoying teams that you hate playing. They're just typical mid-table team. There's always one, isn't there? There's always a team in mid-table who are always better than what the table perceives them to be. They just sort of buzz around the top teams, taking points off them at convenient times, and that's what Bolton did there. I mean, going to the Reebok is always going to be difficult. Let's make no bones about that. I mean, former Premier League ground. Went to Ipswich, went to Portman Road. Bridcut got sent off, but Orlandi and Mikhail Smith with the goals. Rockford came to the Amex. Luar scoring, Kasenga Luar, Yezel, Cross and Dicker with the goals. That's a lot of games, as you can see there. Peterborough 3-1. Yezel, Hammond and Buckley with the goals. And then first time for a while draw as Croft scored, but went to the Hull. Went to Hull, went to the Circle, which I started the KC Stadium as it is. I don't know why it's called the Circle, but whatever. Cardiff, former stomping ground of mine, I guess. 1-0 at the Amex, Orlandi with the goal, and 2-0 against Barnsley, Bridcut and Crofts. And then we went to Blackburn again, another former Premier League ground, lost again. I guess we were just, I mean, goalkeeper wasn't too great. I think, I can't remember actually. I think I might just show you these. I think this may have been a bit of a problem for Kuchak here. His first real bad game, like proper bad game from the goalkeeper. I'll show you the loss here. I guess it'll show me the highlights. Hang on, there we go. Go to goals. Actually, cannot remember this. This may have been a game I might have instant win actually. While I only did about 2 or 3 times just to see what it's like and all that as well, just to test it out. And this was probably one of the first games I did because it's against Blackburn, quite a difficult opposition. They've got Nuno Gomez and Jordan Rhodes. Obviously, that's quite frightening. And there is Jordan Rhodes, who is of course fantastic. Well, so I mean, he's still a good player. Don't get me wrong, Jordan Rhodes, but I'm wondering to see if he was overpowered on this. I don't think he's ever going to be overpowered. I don't think he can be overpowered. But he's a good player, and I might consider maybe buying him if Blackburn don't come up and we do. And to be fair, Blackburn have actually got quite a decent team, especially for the Championship. Now, not sure if that was in or not, but never mind. Nuno Gomez scoring there for Blackburn. I don't know why he's at Blackburn, but there you go. That is, of course, I can't remember if he's there in real life or not. I do recall hearing he was going somewhere. Whether it was Blackburn, then I'll have to make sure to say I don't really follow too much of the Football League. And again, it's just the simple defensive problems that it causing. Just giving the ball away. Yeah, look how many times they could have got on the break there. Actually, I don't think I've seen this goal. Actually, I think, as I say, an instant win this game. But, they've got a lot of, say, Premier League quality players here. Morgan Gams Pedersen's obviously one of them. Nuno Gomez and Jordan Rhodes probably, you don't think, you'd say no to them if you were a Premier League team. Certainly in the bottom to middle half. To be fair, that's a great finish from Gomez. You can't really argue with that. Hit that very nicely, almost RVP-like, to be fair to him. But here's our goal. So that was 3-0, and obviously I wasn't here at the time. It was an own goal, unfortunately, but never mind. So at least we managed to spoil the clean sheet, I guess. But there is that one thing I really dislike immensely, which is passing around the back. I don't know whether that's just the game default or whether I can actually change that. But here we go, first real attack, as you can see on the highlight, and I'm not sure what Gael Shuvey was trying to do there, but yeah, poor from him. But never mind. It still got Blackburn the win overall. So where are we? Actually lost my place. There we go. And then 2-0 against Wolves, obviously going to Molineux, another really difficult game. Crofts obviously got sent off, had a pretty bad game. And Mikhail Smith brought on, really didn't do anything. Millwall, Yazil scoring 2, and Orlandi also scoring. So you can again starting to see now the impression Samad Yazil is having. I really would recommend them. And it came to a head here, I guess. 3-0 against Birmingham. Obviously, we started the season at Birmingham, and I thought, this is going to be a slightly tricky game, but no, Yazil made very, very light work of them, and did very, very well indeed. So here's his hat trick. I'll show you to it now. This will give you an impression as to say how good he can be at this level. Obviously, you've got to have good players around them, players who can make certain balls like that, like Stephen Dobie. But yeah, Yazil, very good finish. I don't know how many goals he had at this point. Maybe say between 10 and 15. That's in the first 5 minutes. So it was a really good start, and obviously things got better. Half an hour later, Yazil with 2. I don't know why when they score they seem to walk like they've just shit themselves, but yeah, and then they jump around like they're on friggin' ecstasy or something. But yeah, that's no thanks to the new physics engine. It's like, I should just say Impact Engine 2.0. Mini Impact Engine, I think we should call it. Because that's what it appears to be. It's having some very strange physics in this. But here's his third goal. This is the hat-trick goal. Lovely play again by Dobie here. Hammond, Yazil, bang. Lovely goal. And he seems to be pointing there at the corner flag. I do assume that is where he... Is he pointing? It looked like he was pointing there. And obviously there it is. the Fernando Torres thing, which is something we don't do very often because he doesn't score very often. The Torres celebration where he, I don't know what it's actually called, but he did it in the like under 21 World Cup or something for Spain, or I don't know. So it was one of them celebrations he did many years ago before he joined Liverpool. And then we had a few draws here. This is where we played Leeds again. Yazil scoring again, but unfortunately couldn't hold Leeds this time. 2-2. Buckley and Mikel Smith with against 2 goals against Leicester. Still couldn't hold on. I think this might have been the time where I started to use, from about Hull onwards, I started to use the 3-4-3 formation. I don't think it worked very well. As you can see, it didn't particularly work. So I went back after the Leicester game to the 4-3-3. I think I did. Anyway, it was around about. Well, there was a blip at some point. It might have been here actually, but if not, it was around about here. And we played Forest away. Dobie with 2, Lopez and Greer once again getting his head on it. Crofts again getting sent off. Orlando getting injured. And then we played Nuneaton Borough in at home in the FA Cup fourth round. Now, the third round, and we got quite lucky here, if I'm going to be honest. The fact that we got a very good, probably the weakest team in the draw, were obviously being Nuneaton Borough. I don't even know what league they're in. I think they're in the Southern. I'm going to guess Southern Premier League. I mean, to be fair, I have played teams from like, oh god, I don't know if we've ever seen anyone like Havant and Waterlooville get quite far, but this is it kind of sums up the difference here. Don't know why that wasn't a foul, but Dean Hammond, who was the captain for today, probably the most senior player in this team, doing a really good job. Man of the match he did, and this was 11 minutes in. I don't really know what he's trying to do. There's tons of highlights. Nuneaton had, I think, one chance all game, at least notable chance. Played a lot of youngsters here. Obviously, well, youngsters. There was somewhat youngsters like this guy here, Forster Kasky, who I think scored. And yeah, obviously we had a little play around with some of the players in the formation. Here's Hoskins, and then Hammond, bang, Steven Gerrard just arriving on the scene. And I thought at this point, 17 minutes, he's going to get a hat-trick here. But unfortunately he didn't. And obviously at that point, I think I told him to take the foot off the gas a bit after this third goal. Because, I mean, look, there's no need. I think they're already down and out at this point. As the third goal is about to go in here. Dickinson doing really well on the side, and Hoskins knocks it in for an easy goal. Who I haven't really played all that much, to be honest. Do need to play him a little bit more. Obviously, any Brighton fans, please do tell me, certain things. And then it was all over within the half hour. As you can see, we didn't score we didn't score any actually after half time, which was slightly disappointing, but whatever. The game was sewn up by them. And then Dean Hammond brilliantly keeps it in play, slides it across, and there is Forster Kasky scoring his goal. Now here's a youngster. Well, it's obviously not his first goal because the game would have said, but he is a youngster and he looked quite good against Nuneaton. But then again, I think I would look good against Nuneaton Borough. So there you go. And we're going to yet again play Bristol City, and once again we still can't beat them even at the Amex, and it's another own goal. Let me just find it. Did we score? Was it an own goal? No, Yazil scored. Okay, an own goal for Bristol to earn us a point. But then we've gone on a winning streak again here, 3-2 against Derby. This was a great game once again. Yazil, Dobby and Greer. I'm going to say, is it Dobby or Dobby? I like saying Dobby because it's like the elf from Harry Potter, and it's just funny. I can imagine him playing football. And then 2-0 against Palace. This was on telly, so obviously did really well. Steve Malbronk's debut. Scored a penalty, which I'll show you in a second. And finally 3-2 against Leicester in the fourth round of the FA Cup. Bridcut, Greer and Yazil. I'll show you Bridcut's goal, but I'll show you these goals here in the final 3 games. And that'll do it for me, and I'll show you a few other stats as well before we head out. But here's the goals. Another great game. You can kind of see when the goals went and stuff. This was right at the start. This was another really good game to watch. So entertaining, as I say. And it just broke for Hughes here. I'm not quite sure what happened exactly. It went probably a bit too quick there, but terrible start. But nevertheless, so we still got the win, and that is the most important thing. Now, that was one thing I like to see, the way players jump and stuff. That was a realistic jump. He seemed to just sort of jump on top of him and stuff. Now, this is 16 minutes in, and we're 2-0 down. I'm thinking, oh, okay, are we really going to do it again? Come back. And well, okay, obviously we did. um, and yeah, this was the start of it. Because when this attack was on, I thought this is really I'm fearing the worst. But no, as I say, we came back. This was Fox's first game as well. I think he did quite well. There goes Yezel again. He just makes these super runs, and a lovely cool finish from Yezel. Picks up the ball. I think he tries to, the ball transports itself to him. Strange. And then this is right before half time, so we're still in the first half here. Bruno's ball is taken out. Trying to remember when the goals come in because I played this all yesterday. So obviously my mind is a little bit wary of the goals because there's been so many goals. I'm not too sure what Calderon and Lopez are doing there, but it seems to work. Yazol plays it in, and Stephen Dobie hits the equaliser just before half time. So obviously that's a bit of a kick in the teeth for Derby. There we go, Orlandi's ball, and Gordon Gray. I'm not sure if he knew what he was trying to do there, but it's 10 minutes to go or so, 12 minutes, and he gets the winner. So that's good. And then 2-0 against Palace. Show you this, Malbranc and Orlandi, I think, with the goals there. Obviously, I say this was his debut. He is, at the moment, a little bit tired, Malbranc. He is jaded and I think in need of a rest. It's that little thing. But let's see, it's a penalty. Lovely penalty from Malbranc, and obviously it was his debut goal. So I think for 95 grand, that is a fairly respectable signing. Obviously, Wilfred Zaha, very, very good player. I think he's going to be pretty good on this as well. But yeah, no, this is just Crystal Palace. I don't know what they're doing here, just fanning around. There's a lot of this at the back, and I think Liverpool do this quite a bit. And I think it will lead to a team doing this eventually. So look at that, very close to scoring in the end. Did nothing made of it, but yeah, obviously we did eventually score from it, so I suppose it is related in a way. Malbranc involved again. I got Will Buckley down this right hand side, and who's arriving? It is Orlandi. So there we go, I put the game beyond all doubt. And finally here, a 3-2, another thriller against Leicester. This is in the FA Cup, as I'm saying. I think that we've got another draw. I think we've done the draw, which I'll get onto in just a few moments' time. So I'll show you the goals here. So obviously we are in blue, also we're at home. Leicester in the black. Yeah, so he's a tireless worker. He will very sort of Dirk Cout like he will, run all day. He's got a lot of pace. He's young, so obviously he's keen and all that. So yeah, he's very good. Jermaine Beckford, this is his competition, isn't it? Really, back post, 1-0. It is his competition. He is very, very good at it, scoring. And this obviously, we've seen it for Leeds. I'm talking about in real life, but I would not ever put it past Jermaine Beckford scoring in the FA Cup, and he is obviously, and it is known as his competition. But there's Samuel Jezel yet again for another goal. I don't know how many he's got on all competitions now, but I think it's fair to say it's a fair amount. I actually can't remember what order the goals went in. David Nugent. So that to be fair, doesn't actually sound like a horrible partnership, but Jermaine Beckford and David Nugent, who is about to score here, it's like you think that would actually be a decent partnership. Arguably, two Premier League players, but yeah, Nugent and Beckford. Don't know whether they're overrated or whatever, but obviously Beckford didn't really work out for him at Everton, thankfully. Yeah, and obviously Nugent, who one of the worst players to play for England ever. And then check this out from Bridcut. Oh, lovely goal. Obviously that's just the way he just kept going there so well. That's 2-2, I think, and this is finally the winning goal. Here's Gordon Greer again on the end of a free kick, right on the 60-minute mark. He is very, very good at that. So there you go. Next game then is going to be against Huddersfield, and the FA Cup 5th round game is going to be against West Ham. It's my terrible impression of a Cockney, by the way. Yes, that's how the league stands stats wise. Obviously, a team there. Games won in a row. We've won 2, and we're 4th in terms of goals, only 3 behind Wolves. Play stats you've just seen. You've actually seen all these, haven't we? Yeah, I've just showed you them. And I think that really is all I've got to show you. So, yeah, Oh, I've just talked for quite some time, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will be back then in May to see if we have qualified. Yeah, obviously there's a long way to go yet. There's still like what 18 or something games. Um, so yeah, thank you very much for watching. I will be back then in May. Bye bye for now.